Morning all, it's 14th of September 2020, Monday I think, and possibly 7:22 in the morning. I've discovered that if my phone can't get a signal, it tends to go wrong with the clock, which is an odd design. I think it's because it can't work out what time zone it's in, so it doesn't know what sort of daylight savings to apply, so it seems to jump forward an hour if it loses signal, which was very confusing yesterday because I started to panic when I was trying to work out when the sun sets. But then I thought, oh no, I'll use my eyes and look up into the sky. And I've done this sort of thing before, so I know roughly how far up the sky the sun is for how many given moments for it sets and stuff. Anyway, so I'm up before the sunrise, just about. I think it's just starting to rise over on those distant hills there. This is perfect. This proved to be a very good spot. This didn't get disturbed, no wind, no really loud sea noises. Just a faint whisper of wind in the trees. The ground was a little uneven, which meant I didn't really sleep very well, but I don't sleep very well in tents anyway, which is, I think, more me than any kind of placement or equipment. So, yeah, feeling okay. Got a few achy bits of feet, but then I always do on these trips, I think. There's nothing that I can't carry on walking with, certainly. So today's plan is to get to Port Wrinkle within the next sort of hour or so. It's just down the hill and over a bit. Get some breakfast, top up with water, because I think I've run out again, swigging away during the night. And then really load up, because today's going to be 24 degrees, no clouds, whatever, all that. So quite a punishing day. But I mean, looking at the terrain as I was coming over, you can't see from here, but it looks like it might be a bit of a easier going day, certainly, because it's all along headlands which tops ups basically, which look like they didn't can't see from here, no, which looks like they didn't go up and down too much. It looks like it was more just staying all along the top of a cliff for a long run. So there's a big old loopy headland, not too much out there either, so I'm going to be careful with my water top-ups and just take every opportunity to keep them full, every cafe I see. But ultimately, at the end of today, I should probably find myself just about at the ferry across the Tamar to Plymouth. And I probably don't want to go across that today because I'll probably get there too late anyway, but I can catch the first one in the morning. And then Plymouth will be tomorrow. So, yeah, that'll be the end of Cornwall. This is the last stretch of Cornwall. When I cross that ferry to Plymouth, I'll be in Devon. So, yeah, just another day of trooping on, I think. But I'm sure we'll find interesting things along the way. Anyway, I need to get bagged up and get ready to go. I'll probably show you an amazing sunrise in a minute. Speak to you soon. Oh, that's impressive. Must be Port Wrinkle down there. And then, yeah, not a lot else. God, I could be in trouble. And then beyond, Plymouth, I think. Can't really see it, it's all misty. Right, well I don't know what time it is, but once I get down to that village I will wait around for some shops to open because I do need supplies. And then yeah, all the way out to the end and then back again. On the other side in that misty valley is Plymouth. We see more of that as the early morning mist burns off. There's that naval destroyer again. Frigate, whatever. Keeping pace with me. And there's a load of stuff. Blimey. That's Lou, isn't it? Yeah. You can see Lou Island, or St George's Island, whichever you call it. Wow. I was there yesterday. There. Yep, that sunlight's blowing that out completely. Oh, trust me that it's a picture postcard. Pretty much everything out here is. It's quite windy up here as well too. I have to cup the mic with my hand. Yeah, so literally quarter of a mile maybe into the village there, Portwrinkle, and that marks the end of day 2. Which puts me about 9 hours ahead of schedule. So I think I'm gaining on myself as well, even with that half day. So yeah, I don't want to take it easy on this next bit, so I don't know, I'll have to check the map, but let's just park on the old bench of the dead here. What we got here? Dedicated to the Harris family of Cheviot Parish. Oh my god. Francis Harris, Leonard Francis Harris, Gerald William Harris, Michael John Harris, Justin Nathaniel Harris. They're all in the Navy, look. I think. RN, Royal Navy, Royal Air Force, yeah, good services family there. Oh god. Justin Nathaniel Harris is still alive. Must be quite grim, hiking up here and seeing a plaque with your date of death still to be filled in. Ugh. That's a nice gesture. Oh, look, first dog walkers of the day, hello. Yeah, so that all along there is a big long headland that loops back around the far side and comes back about as far as well. I don't think there's anything on there unless there's like, you know, an ice cream lorry, ice cream van parked at a lay-by or something if I get lucky. So I might have to try taking on extra water down here. Find a shop, buy a couple of bottles of water and try and stuff them in the top, just so that I've got plenty to be going on with. Because I think it's going to be 24 degrees later in the day today. I mean, it's quite windy, so that's good. I mean, that might just keep me alive, but yeah, it's been quite a challenging day. I'm going to have to get down there and get a load of coffee and lemonade and stuff and stock up on pastries and whatever, but for immediate consumption. But then, yeah, think about the day ahead, which might be a bit, I'm not going to say bleak, but certainly without refreshment. But yeah, this wind's not unwelcome at all. Just keep me reasonably cool as I go around, but obviously that only happens through sweating, and sweating needs water, so yeah, I'll have to get an extra bottle or two stuff in the rucksack, just so that I'm up to like 3 litres or 4. And I obviously fill the currently empty water panniers there. Yeah, so it's my last day in Cornwall today. It's been a love-hate relationship, but mostly it's been amazing, yeah. I would recommend it. Hell, if you don't want to do the entire thing, just do a few day stages of the Cornwall bit. It's pretty much all looks like this. Blue skies, blue seas, green grassy hillsides. A lot of physical exertion, I won't lie. We'll take it out of you, but small enough sections between cafes. Get the general gist of it all without all the misery and pain. Anyway, I'm going to... oh, hello. They're going back. I'm clearly that intimidating. I'm not even upwind of them either. Yes, that's far enough. There's a strange man in a hat on the bench. Good, right, I'm going to use up the last of my water, and then, you know, if there's not an open cafe or something in there, I'm just going to have to bang on a door and ask if someone can fill it from their tap, which I don't like to do, but good last resort. I'd rather face my embarrassment of doing that than die of dehydration. Anyway, good. So this is Portwrinkle, which seems set up for car parking and tourism and all that, but so far I've not seen any shops or pubs. So, well, I'm hopeful that thing with all the flags out on the end is some sort of beach toy cafe type thing. Let's see what we can see. Jolly Roger. Yeah. Let's give it a look. So, the cafe over there is open at 10 AM, which I thought it was, thanks to my weird out-of-sync phone. The phone was telling me it was 10. Then I went down to that parking machine there, car park machine, and that says it's 9. And now my phone's saying it's 9 as well, because it's as if out of embarrassment. So, I could basically wait around here for an hour until the cafe's open, get some proper breakfast, because I've not really been eating much this trip. I tried popping in the loo there and filling the water bottles in the sink, but the sink is so tiny I couldn't actually fit the bottle into the sink to get it under the tap. So, sort of like, you know, scooping handfuls of water into the bottle. That's going to be a bit of a problem there. But yeah, I mean, I've had a look at the map, and it's not as entirely as bleak as I was making out on there. There's a few small hamlets that might have a water tap or something nearby, or an ice cream van. On the end there's a public convenience. It's obviously some sort of, visitor touristy spot, so there might even be an ice cream van there, who knows, but there should be water. And then on the far side there's a sizable village as well, with a pub and everything, so on the far side coming back, so it's not as bad as all that. Although yeah, it's going to be hot today. But I just want a proper meal, I think, because I've just had croissants and flapjacks and things, and mostly ice creams. Half a bag of peanuts, so I could really go for a pasty and chips or something about now, just to bulk myself up and make sure I don't starve myself. Anyway, so I'm going to have to try and just sort of sit around for an hour and do nothing, which I'm not sure I'm psychologically capable of doing, to be honest. But it's a pleasant enough place, and I've just suntan lotioned up, so yeah. But this place is just houses and nothing else, really. Some sort of hotel golf club over there. I don't know if that's open for non-members, but probably the cafe's a better bet. Go and have a look. Got nothing to do for an hour. But yeah, I want to stock up properly before I strike out further. So yeah, there's stuff out there, but it's not every 2 miles is a seaside town with a beach bar. So yeah, good. Stupid phone. How hard is it to cache the time locally and then just assume, unless told otherwise, you're in the time zone you were in? Worth waiting around for. A pasty there. 2 extra bottles of water, totaling a litre. Some lemonade. A little cake thing. Some coffee. And a little ice cream for breakfast. That's great being an adult. So I think once I've had all this, sat down, and the bottles there, just told me there's a tap over there, I can fill those up. That's good. So I think we're ready to go for it once I've had all this. Big old push today. Worth the wait though. Hey. On the move again. And look, my first golf course of the trip. Beware falling golf balls. Yeah. Oh. So that's Rames Head on the end there, and I'm hoping that it's all like along the tops, not too much down and up. I mean, headlands that stick out like that, in my experience, tend to have a geology that's well, the rocks are generally harder than the surrounding land. That's why they stick out in the sea. They resist the sea's perennial influence year upon year more than other areas, where you end up with bays and gullies and rivulets. So once I'm up and onto there, I think we'll be dealing with a lot less up and down, just more meandering along the tops, but that'll suit me fine. So yeah, it's about 11 o'clock. I spent about 2 hours down there. Feels like time wasted in a way, but glad I did, because I've got 3 litres of water on me now, and I'm well fed, well watered, had a lemonade. So I think it's probably worth the wait, worth the detour. And yeah, I'm trying to remember that technically that should have been the end of day 2 out there. And if you count today as day 2 instead of day 0, my early half day, I'm about 7 hours ahead, I think. Technically, I don't know. Oh, it's all cheat it any way you like, really, isn't it? The main thing is to steal a golf buggy and no, just crack on at my own pace, enjoy it if I can. Feet are hurting, but they do, This is not unusual, not unknown. So I don't really want to tackle Plymouth today. So I will probably try and get round the far end of there to serve Kingsland, Kingsand, something like that, village on the back of that peninsula. So better get some supplies and drinks and things there. And then just sort of meander to a point not too far, about a mile or 2 off of the ferry, so that I can crack on with it first thing tomorrow. I suspect, being Plymouth, being a big major city and everything, I expect that ferry runs until probably quite late, but there's no point stranding myself in the middle of Plymouth at Plymouth docks at 10:30 at night. mean, given how much loo freaks me out, I think Plymouth might be well best avoided with the COVIDs. So I want to just get up early tomorrow, get across, get out, get through the city and out again. And then on to Newton Ferrers, I think. Newbury Ferrers? Don't know, something like that. I'll have to have a look at the map. And we'll see what we see. So for now, I've got to get around this peninsula. It's 11 o'clock, at around 4 o'clock today. It's going to be 24 degrees. So I've sun slapped on, got extra water despite the extra weight. Each litre is a kilo. So I've got 3 litres of water to get around there, and it's not actually just barren tundra or anything on the end of there. There's small hamlets, small little villagettes. You can see a couple of them sparkling, maybe. And there's a fairly sizable village stroke, large village on the back. So I'm not going to be completely stranded on my own resources, but it pays to prepare, because I'm going to get through a lot of water today, I think, just lugging this backpack up and down these cliffs. So yeah, let's crack on. Yeah, plenty of rest stops. Get as far as I get today. It's going to be a challenging one way or another, so no point busting a gut trying to get overachievements done. So let's have a look at the map anyway. Here we are. So, as you can see, my pencil scrawls day 2, day 3. Poor Wrinkle, which I've just come from. Cafe there. So I just crossed the golf course. I think I'm probably about here, top of this little climb there. And as you can see, danger. Yeah. That's Tregantle, which is the next milestone I've seen on the signpost. Tregantle Fort. There it is. That might be it on top of the hill over there. Don't know. Unless it's some old ruined abandoned thing. It's got a danger area. You never know when they might start chucking shells out to sea, I suppose. But it seems pretty peaceful at the moment. Triangle on a stick. I don't know. I guess it's red flag. You know, if you see the red flag flying, then don't go in. But there's 2 different coast path routes. One that skirts around the danger zone, and one that goes through it. So I'm not sure which one I want to take, really. One goes along a road, big B road, trudge. The other one cuts across the fort. So it'll be more interesting, I think, but depends if there's any signs up or red flags or whatever. I'd rather not walk along a B road if I can help it. I mean, doubt there's a footpath, pavement. Oh, careful map, no map going into the sea for you. Anyway, yes. Quite a busy B road. Doesn't look like there's much in the way of a footpath running along the side of it. So we'll try the main route if it doesn't look like anyone's doing any exploding. Yeah, so just trudging along. Feet aren't helping me a lot. Throbbing ache on the outside of my big toe. The inside, whichever that way is. I guess there's a blister informing. Problem is, I did a fair bit of hiking before coming out here, but I didn't do any with that on my back, so maybe it's just the extra weights sort of throwing me somewhat. It'll be alright, I've walked off worse. But yeah. The sun's up in the air. I've worked out what the bloody phone's doing as well. Yeah, it seems to think. I think if it can't get a signal, it tries to use GPS to work out where I am, and it seems to be coming up with France for some reason. It keeps putting me in Central European time, which is why the clock looks like it's always an hour ahead. I think that'll settle down once I get near Plymouth. A whole load of mobile connectivity over there, I'm sure. Just use the sun to guide me instead. Who needs time? So yeah, I can't hear any shelling or anything. I think we might have to trudge on across that danger zone then, why not? See where we end up next. Stop for a little bit of a rest in the middle of a naval firing range. Why not? Strange landscape. Is that a dry ski slope? Some sort of range finding markers. Don't know what the round things are either. some sort of radars, perhaps. Who knows? A bit of ball there, quite solid concrete. A hut on the top there. Some sort of range observer's post, I suppose. Sit up there with the binoculars, watch where the shots go. I mean, the area on the map marked as danger zone extends way out to sea there, probably out as far as that boat's circling. So, I mean, anything that lands on this hillside, I think something's gone very badly wrong, to be honest. Yeah, I can't tell if it's still in use. Do they still sometimes do some firings? Or is this some sort of leftover 1950s thing? Hard to say. I mean, there's cows grazing in this field a bit further over, so I'm probably alright today. Do they do it during the week sometimes in recent years? Don't know. Try and find my path as well. It crosses that weird ski slope thing in a bit. Or does it go up the side? I think it does actually, because it goes right up close to the castle, which looks more intact than I was expecting. Oh, there's planes, tail fins. Hard to tell. I suppose we'll see for ourselves soon enough. Yeah. Good breeze today. Should keep me alive. Well, that will mean I'll probably get sunburnt without noticing, so that'll be something else. That's all good stuff. Can you hear sirens? I heard gunshots a lot as well earlier, but I think that's a bit further to the north. I think there's, looking on the map, there was another danger zone further up the Tamar estuary. I think that one might actually be doing some shooting. I think we're okay here. I'm sure the siren would be louder if I needed to worry. Oh well, I better keep moving. No, you're right. I take your point, even though I'm not that mad or desperate. Ah, there you go. Nice ski slope, is it? It's a firing range. Presumably for small calibre infantry type weapons rather than bloody great naval guns. Makes more sense from this end. Like a golf course, but not. Do not leave footpath. Too bloody right, don't need to tell me twice. So go. See, look, I am supposed to be here. It's off down that road, I think. Bit of pavement for a while. F range. Blimey. So presumably you stand on the little markers and then shoot at stuff down there. That's crazy. I suppose you can put targets on each of these little things in between, but modern infantry has weapons that can hit that far accurately, presumably. Yeah, I'd say this range was probably still in use then, still maintained. So I'm going to try and find my way off it quite quickly without getting shot. For local history. You can probably pause that and zoom in maybe. Yeah, and I can attest it is still in use because as on my way through there I was treading on, well, nearly treading on spent bullet casings. I have no idea what calibre, or not that much of a gun that, but definitely looked contemporary, definitely looked fresh. Shiny brass, just lying around on the road. Seems a bit sloppy. Just pick that stuff up. I'd have picked one up for a souvenir, but that's precisely the kind of cylindrical metal object one does not touch on a sort of military firing range. Alright, now just to find where my path picks up again. Probably on the far side of this bit. Impressive. And a bit frightening. Yeah. Another one there. Somewhat older vintage. Almost certainly used, but I'm still not touching it. Let's pick them up. Maybe they just bounce out of the used ammo bucket off the back of the lorry or something. Maybe they're just up here firing off in all directions, wandering around with guns. So that's an encouraging sign. Still on the MOD land, but allowed to be here and making my way off, which is good. Sit and drink again. 3 litres. I wonder if that's going to be enough. Still, there are places along the way. We'll be alright. So it's already quite warm. Gonna have to redo my suntan stuff, I think. I'm not going to avoid burning, but at least I can make it less painful, perhaps. Oh, big old main road out there. Glad I didn't have to trudge along there. It looks quite busy. Main coastal connecty road to all these little white cottage villages. Yeah. Well, I don't know. A lot of terrifying signs there. However, there are no flags flying. The gate, no lights being displayed, and the gate is not locked, which it says it would be if it's a no-go. So, hell, let's do it. Just try not to touch any cylindrical metal-looking objects in the hedge. Okay, that is gunfire and it is getting closer. Maybe they're blanks. Maybe the revolution started. Could have at least put a flag up. Oh, I'm probably going to die. Seems unfair. Oh God, let's smoke. I hope there's blanks. I hope there's like a school trip or something. I've got to go through that. Oh, bloody hell. Well, I hope there's like a guy at a gate saying, no, you can't come in here, mate, you'll get shot. In which case I will go, okay, and turn around. My word. Yeah. Here's an update. Can't really see that. I'll have a look at the other side. Oh, hedge, ditch, out. So 2 miles to the end, and then some more around the other side. The old Clifftop Cafe there, a bit of an oasis. 2 cans of Sprite and a white chocolate Magnum. Which means the rest of my water should be fine for the rest of the end and back onwards a bit. And there's a public convenience somewhere on the top and the end there, which I might be able to top up a water at as well. And to be honest, I'm starting to have a bit of reservations about finishing this week. Foot's not stopping hurting. Doesn't seem to be recovering in the time I'm spending in my sleeping bag, so I can just keep pushing on anyway. It's comparable to achy feet I've had in later stages of earlier weeks. Just a bit surprised it's like this on day 2. Well, this is day 3 now, but it's effectively. But I think whatever I want to do, I'm going to have to get over there first. This is Plymouth. Some sort of ferry across to there tomorrow morning. Yeah, not much I can do about anything now. Might as well keep pressing on for today. A couple of ideas, I suppose. I mean, I can just give up and go home when I get to Plymouth. Come back and do the other half of this week and later in the year. Or next year, whatever. Or I could go to Plymouth and have a rest day. Although I'm dubious whether one day will be enough to prepare me for the remaining 4 days of this trip. I could just head down and carry on with stubbornness. We'll see. Anyway, out to the end of there, that's 2 miles. So I can do that, that's not a problem. That's a little chalets all on the cliffside along here. Tiny little winding paths off the road. There's one here. Don't know if they're like rentals or something, or just people who love off-grid living. Certainly is off-grid. My phone hasn't been happy since Lou. Where is everything else? It keeps screaming at me. I don't even know what time it is anymore. It screams. Well, you also just have to get used to it. That's what the future's going to be like. Probably one apocalypse or another, and then that's that. He'll just be a slab of black glass, barely able to do calculations, if that. So, yeah. Just keeping going while I'm still hydrated. Not actually that far away. I saw a sign for somewhere 4.5 miles to somewhere called Core Sands, which I think might be the other side. So already the signboards are discarding that as an objective. Just somewhere on the way to somewhere else now. Yeah. Good. Let's keep at it. Some more chalet views. People who've come to live on the end of the world. Cool. Well, it is sort of getting nearer. About 2.5, 3 miles to go still. Along this quite dangerous coastal road. I mean, there are a couple of little places along here, but they're all just bungalows. There's nothing in here shop-wise or cafe I've seen. So it's fine, you know, I'm doing all right on water, so I'll probably make it round to the other side, so it's alright. But it'd be nice to just grab a cool drink every so often. That's Plymouth, the other side there. I imagine they come down off the other side of that hill over there once we're done. Get a ferry across to there somewhere. Civilization. This warm wind, it dries your mouth. And when you're breathing, you have your mouth open. You breathe through your nose, but then you don't get enough air, so it just finishes. Alright, let's keep at it up here. I'm sure somewhere there'll be a sign off to the right, off onto the path again, but for now, trudging up this road. Yeah, sat down again. You have to, really. Just trying to get through today alive. Yeah, plenty of stops and buy cold drink whenever I see a shop selling one, basically. Can't quite see an ice cream van up there, but never mind, maybe the next one. I've just had a couple of cans of Sprite at a cafe, so okay, for the moment. Wants me to go down there, that's like the wrong way. I'm trying to go over there. Oh, cloud cover, kind of. Bit of high cover, that'd be good. Just diffuse it a bit. Managed to get a bit of internet just now. A bit of data connectivity. And yeah, so Tor Point, which presumably is the nearest weather station, is 24 degrees. It's only 2 o'clock. Mind you, it does say it's going to start cooling down now. That's good. One thing I hadn't expected is the southwest coast path itself is trying to kill me. After about midday, the path itself starts to radiate heat back up out of the ground. So it's like you're being cooked from both sides. Apart from that, I'm having a wonderful time. What about you, feet? How are you? Distinctly non-committal shrugs there. Yeah. Well, I mean, whatever. Today's plan remains unchanged, to get to somewhere the other side of King's Sand or King's Landing or wherever. And just round the other side of this peninsula, and then get somewhere within striking distance of the ferry, and then try and find a place to kip. Which put me pretty much on schedule for the, well, I don't know, I'm still ahead still, so I don't know. I've given up caring, whatever. Yeah, get around this peninsula, get within sight of Plymouth and the ferry, and then call it a day there, and then we'll see what tomorrow brings. I mean, you know, my feet are somewhat recovering each night in the sleeping bag, but probably on balance not quite as much as the damage I'm doing each day. That's okay. I'm pretty sure I had insoles in the last set of boots. Like a sort of spongy layer underneath, just sort of put in, then you stand on top of that bit. So maybe I need some for these. Perhaps that's what it is. The bag's theoretically about the same weight as before. It's even a bit lighter, I thought, so I don't know what that's it. Probably I need to do practice weekend hikes with a bag like that on. Toughen my feet up. Of course, the other alternative I refuse to face square on is that I am getting older. I don't really think about my age. I mean, obviously I know how old I am, I can do maths, but I don't really feel my age, you know? I don't really comprehend what it means to be 45, you know? I guess it's different for everyone anyway, but I joke that I've been 14 since I was 12, but that's pretty much, you know, how I live my life. But I have no real understanding of how a 45-year-old is supposed to act or the sorts of clothes they're meant to wear. I'm just me. Just do me. But I mean, this kind of thing, I suppose you start to, you know, physical health, you start to see things, I don't know, things don't heal necessarily. Things start to go wrong, who knows? Something to bear in mind anyway. That's why I need to crack on and get this bucket list item done while I still can. Little stops and often, that's the way. I think I've done most of the climbing to get onto Ram's Head itself now, Rame's Head. It's good, I hope. Not much more to do with it anyway. And I have to admit, there's been a bit of despair so far today, but I mean, look how far I've come. Trying to locate where I actually slept last night. That's Derry Dingle, I think. Downderry, whatever. So God, no, that's Port Wrinkle, I think. Oh, that one must be Downderry. Like Lou then. Can't even see it in the haze. Yeah, so I probably slept somewhere up there. And you know, is that the stripy red and white tower on top of that last one there? Or is it even further back than that? I can't even see. So yes, bloody good job, Tim. Yeah. All right. I mean, my foot feels like bruised more than blistered, so I don't know. I think an insole would probably help. And I'm going through Plymouth tomorrow, so I might be able to find a Blacks or Millets or whatever, Mountain Warehouse or something. Be able to find some cheap old insoles to throw in there, maybe buy some new socks. And now I think about it, I've had these socks on the go for the last 4 or 5 years. Maybe they've lost a bit of their cushioning somewhat. All the many hundreds of miles I've trogged along in them. And the hundreds of washes afterwards. Perhaps I need fresh socks and some insoles, and we'll be good to go. And if I sit down lots, let the blood flow back into them, then that'll be fine. Yeah, that one right on the end, that must be Mevagissey. Barely see. Oh, who knows? I've walked so far in these last 3 days that I can't even see where I started from. Bloody good. Yeah, I'm in the wind shadow of the headland here, so not as cool as I'd like. But if we press on, we should get a full blast from the other side, I think, because the wind's coming from sort of southeast at the moment, I think. That's what it's felt like today, anyway. So yeah, get around the end of here, up onto the top, and we'll see what we can see. Not prepared to throw in the towel just yet, but I'm going to slow my pace a bit, I think. It's possible I won't reach Tor Cross in time for my Saturday bus, definitely not the Friday one. I can get a Sunday bus. You know what, I could just get to Tor Cross whenever and get a bloody taxi back to Newton Abbot or Totnes or something. Going to be expensive, but I'm sure I'm good for it. Hike's the thing. What about these piffling contingencies? Look, you can see all those chalets scattered all across the cliffside. It's really odd. There's some sort of no man's land free planning laws or something for these places. I expect a lot of them will end up in the sea before very much longer. There's not even a beach there really, unless it's high tide. It might be high tide. I've seen a lot of people out and about with buckets and spades and bikinis, you know, trying to find the beach. I've been helping as best I can, but I'm not really a local here myself. I do have a map. Surprising things, maps. Everyone's trying to use their phones to find the beach, but the phones don't work pretty much anywhere along that coast. We're getting a bit of internet here because Plymouth's just the other side of the top of this hill. So. Don't get discouraged, Tim. Doing well. Doing bloody well. Alright, back to it. Try and make a push on the top, I think. Speak to you there again. Try and find some wind and shade on the top. Looks like all these horses have had the same idea. So I found a bit of shadow to sit in. So that is the rest of the week. Pretty sure that my southerly point is start point, or you know, I need to go around to get to start point. So pretty much everything you can see. You can't see Plymouth, it's around the corner. So yeah, lots to do still. Yeah, so it's about 4 o'clock. It's kind of when I predicted I'd get here, to be honest, so it's not bad. I don't know whether I was allowing for eggs or whatever, but anyway. So yeah, about 3.5 hours worth of daylight left. I expect I can make it to Kingsand, which is around the end of that headland and left. Might be able to find some more lemonade in there. My appetite's really fallen off. Just drinking lots today. But speaking of which, up there, that antenna, at the bottom of there is a National Coast Watch lookout station thing. Those volunteer Coast Guard folks with the epaulets. Normally they're open to the public, come in and have a look at what we do, it says, but there's a sign up front saying because of COVID you can't come in. You know, it affects everyone in all walks of life. Apparently they weren't just open. The toilets, it said on the map, were all being demolished and rebuilt, so I plucked up the courage to ask the chap with the binoculars there whether he could fill my water bottles for me, and he could. They got tap in there, they got tea and coffee facilities, I expect. With those long watches, can't get through that kind of thing on a hip flask full of amaretto. So yeah, filled up my water, so I'm all good to go there. I've down to half of one of those plastic bottles I got as well. I kept the empty bottle though, because I might be able to fill that up if I need to. But I think the worst of the pressure for water's off now. Like I say, the sun's still up and still hot, but I've got a fantastic cooling breeze coming in now. If you look at the sort of surface waves on there, they're all coming towards me from that direction. So basically, as I'm going along there, I'll be being blown sideways by a nice cooling breeze, which will allow my vasodilation and perspiration and etc. to function at good efficiency. Like I say, that all requires water, which I now have lots of. So yeah, I can probably top the bottles up again at Kingsand before I move on. Get to Kingsand, maybe buy some food, maybe not, maybe just carry on through, who knows. I haven't had anything to drink this trip, you know, alcohol-wise. Apart from my hip flask of amaretto, I've had a few swigs of that over the evening, but heart's not really in it. So yeah, and then once outside the other side of Kingsand, there's about another 2 or 3 miles, I suppose, to the ferry. So I want to dawdle along there until dark, and then go through my usual anxiety-fueled twilight panic attack, trying to find somewhere to put the tent. But that's the plan anyway, and then tomorrow we'll just up and early onto the ferry across to the great city of Plymouth. And it is a huge city. I reckon it'll take me about 2 or 3 hours just to get through it, and then see where we're at. Turn the corner out of the prevailing westerlies and suddenly it's all like this. Wooded hillsides and inlets, like I imagined. Must be something to do with the prevailing wind. Obviously trees don't get to establish if it's constantly blowing a gale from the west. So this is all quite sheltered around here. I think that's Core Sands and King Sands through there. See that a bit better in a minute, I'm sure. That's basically about as far as I want to get today, and then after that I'm just going to start looking for somewhere to drop. It's about 2 hours, hour and a half or so, 2 hours till sunset. Although the hillside and the clouds seem to have made it a bit more gloomy. That's okay, it works for me. Just find somewhere out of the way between King Sands and the ferry, and then do the rest of it and get on a ferry in the morning. That's the plan anyway. Good. It's quite a long straight piece of path this. Made some good time. Is that a bench? I think it is a bench. It's a bench with my name on it. Actually no, I hope it's not a bench with my name on it because it usually means I'm dead. It's a bench with someone else's name on it. Happy memories of Lil and Roy Down who loved this place that others may enjoy. Well, that's awfully decent of you. Gonna park the old arse on you then if you don't mind. Oh, I have to register some dissatisfaction with this bench. It's clearly designed for toddlers. It's not even level, and it's about a foot off the ground. Oh well. Only port in a storm. I think I've just done a mile without stopping, so that's quite good for me. It's been nice and level though, all the way from Ramshead to apparently Penlee Point, which is just up there somewhere. So the other sticky outy bit, and then we loop back in and go back up to some village or something, I hope. Oh, that wind's helped, that breeze. Because these trees are blocking it a bit at the moment. Oh, yeah. I think it's a bit of just hit some sort of wall of pain and then just going on through it. Which kind of seems familiar from last week, from the week I did in Lizard to Par. It seemed to, similar sort of thing seemed to happen there as well. Maybe I should just stop complaining and get on with it, enjoy myself. I think that's what I'll do. Still, lots of rests and often though. It's still very hot, so gonna drink more water. Getting to that point where I'm almost feeling a bit sick drinking any more water as well, which I think is probably a good sign. That means I'm at maximum hydration. So yeah. Keep myself topped up. It's lovely here though, it's almost Mediterranean. You know, if it weren't for everything else, I could quite enjoy this. If I just suddenly turned up here fresh, it would be lovely. But there's a lot going on with my body at the moment. All sorts of yellow alerts going on in my head. Oh. Look, sailing boat. Charming little cobbled streets. Well, not actually cobbled, but too small to get a car down, certainly. Just stopped in a pub for a pint of lemonade. Burned a bit of time, but I think it's worth it. So I need to just get out and across the other side of here, and then up into the hills. Looking forward to getting the boots off again. There we are, achievement unlocked, Penlee Point. Not that big of an achievement really. Lots of people have been here before. There we go, we can see Plymouth properly now. See more of it as we go around, but look at all that. All those people with like respiratory systems who may or may not be wearing masks. Blockaded harbour. Oh, that's the breakwater. I thought it would be taller. Maybe it's high tide. I'll stop it auto-focusing. Yeah, well. Yeah, it's like a submerged reef thing. Although I thought it was a wall. Maybe at low tide it is. It's like a little fortress in the middle. Lighthouse on each end. Further in's Drake Island. Old fortification on there, some sort of harbour lookout type thing from the 1800s and beyond. Yeah, we'll see more of that as we go. Another hill. Yeah, so that was King's Sand and Corsand. Corsand's the further south one. Delightful little maze of charming cottages, all brightly coloured. Almost all of which are available for holiday let. And now I've crossed over into Mount Edgecombe Country Park, which could be a problem. Depends where the further extent of this lies, because I suspect country parks are going to be more hot on wild camping than most. So yes, I'll just keep trudging on. What if that's the same one that's been shadowing me? Another one there. Big naval shipyard, Plymouth. That's the breakwater. Sideways on now. Yeah, still walking, still looking. Not hopeful though. How popular with evening strollers is this? Getting near and near civilization, wild camping becomes harder to do. Next thing you know, you find yourself on like football fields and middle of roundabouts, and I think that's just called vagrancy, to be honest. So I don't know what's going to happen. Keep going until I find a likely looking spot, possibly not inside this country park, ideally. Or keep going until I find the ferry and find it's stopped for the day, then I'll have to just, I don't know, find a hedge nearby. Or keep going and find the ferry's still running, take the ferry, end up in Plymouth, maybe find a travel lodge or something. It's all a bit contingent, all a bit maybe. Still, that's how we roll. Better keep moving. Well, this is me overdoing it again. I mean, mostly I'm just reluctant to set the tent up in someone's country park, but I think what's looking like the plan now, assuming I haven't missed it, or won't miss it, is catch the ferry across to Plymouth and look for some sort of B&B, travel lodge or something. Which may have me wandering around Plymouth docks after dark, so, you know, it's all experiences. Gotta keep going though. Can't stop here. What's that? Some sort of chapel? Cave? This is probably worthy of documenting. I wonder if I can sleep in it. It's quite sheltered, going to be a mild night. Looks religious. Some reliquary or something. Yeah. Looks like bits of a church cobbled together into a folly. Probably would have had water here at one point. Well, it's not helping me. Onward. Oh God, not appreciating this. So the path says a sign saying landslip, danger, do not take this path, go up here. So I, you know, do the good thing. And I find myself in bloody David Bowie's garden from Labyrinth. It's all zigzaggy and there's no signs, and I'm tired and I'm fed up. Do not have time for this bullshit. I'm trying to reach a ferry. Anyway, I better struggle on. Had to go under a fallen tree at one point, got covered in red mud as well, which isn't great. Not a good look to rock up into sophisticated Plymouth with. Onward. Oh, just clonked my head quite convincingly on that branch there. Still lost in, I don't know where I am. Just seen one of those though. That's good. Right, I've got to try out this way. Maybe it lets me out. Otherwise I'm going to spend the night trapped in a thinly veiled metaphor for female virginity. Right, here we go. Oh God, you're telling me. Spectacular view. Cool little bus shelters to see it from. Actual's helpful sign. God for all that. I mean, you know, in other circumstances I'd probably have considered all that charming, but I'm just cross now. Lean on this thing for a bit. So there's the breakwater again, from a different angle. Oh God, so tired. Could just camp in here tonight. Not with the tent, but you know, bivouac style. Got a roof. Probably quite a draft. I know when it gets up tonight, if it gets up. Let's keep moving. That's very impressive. Probably not a suitable campsite. There's deer and sheep in here apparently. Still going. I decided I need to sit down for a bit, and then as I plonked myself down I managed to gash my hand, so something spiky in the shrubbery. So sensible hiker that I am, here's my first aid kit. I mean, I have to admit I haven't checked the best before end on the best before date on a lot of this stuff, but there we go. I've already given it a bit of a rinse with some water. Trying to self-administer whilst holding a camera, you're just going to have to stare at something else at the moment. So we start with the alcohol-free hygienic cleansing wipe, just to get the shit out of the wound, just in case I've stabbed myself with, like, I don't know, tuberculosis or cholera or something. I don't know, one of those Victorian diseases. Got enough going on with the COVID at the moment. Okay, that's cleaned it up quite nicely. There we go. Can barely see it's there. Good, now we're going to slap a plaster on, just for now. Which will probably come off when I next sweat heavily. Palm wounds are very tricky. Very difficult to bandage or put a plaster on a palm, but we'll give it a go. I haven't got enough hands to film this as well. So a camera crew would come in handy, you see. But no, somebody doesn't want to go hiking around Cornwall. Too busy interrupting the Formula 1 season or something. Anyway, here we go. Just going to stick that on there for now. It's almost certainly not going to stay. Ta-da! That'll do. So, came down the path and came across this, which looks relatively green and relatively flat. Quite a lot of tree stuff underneath, but it's a little bit blatant, but I don't know who's going to come through here on a Tuesday morning before 6:30. And if they do, most people don't even kick up a fuss, so I'm very tempted to just go for it here, because I mean, I could stump on over down around the next headland, I think, and potentially find a ferry, and it might be still running, and if I get across there might be some sort of travel lodge or Premier Inn nearby, but there's a whole city to search. I don't doubt the ferry terminal's next to the swanky harbourside retail and entertainment complex. So I don't know, I'd have to probably stump around the harbour. It's quite a long way until I found anything remotely useful. So I think this is it. I think time's up. And this is relatively quiet, lapping against the shore here. It's a river estuary at this point, so I'm not sure it's fresh water, but there's certainly no waves here. I don't know what this cliff's like. Well, yeah, we want to be back a bit from the edge of that, obviously. Yeah, just somewhere around here. I mean, someone's even had a campfire at one point, and I can't imagine again. Monday night's the night for campfires on the far side of the harbour, but we'll see. I think it'll have to do, to be honest. It's getting dark, and my feet really need to stop. And I will happily be told off, should it come to it. Right, so I'll just wait up a bit and then pitch up. Yeah, it's getting dark though, so I will probably say goodbye again. It's been a pleasure. Cranky sort of day, a lot of challenges, but we made it. And basically that's Plymouth, and basically that was the end of day 3. So in a way, I've kind of done in 2.5 days what I was originally planning to do in 3 days, which is going to put me 1 day ahead of the overall schedule. It'll be, I don't know, about half an hour hike that way on to the ferry. I'll just wait around for the first one of the morning. Then, yeah, deal with Plymouth and out the other side, hopefully. But yes, so I shall speak to you tomorrow. Bye bye.